Hello, wonderful interpreters, and thank you again for tuning in. The WFSE Union has concocted another scam disguised as a survey to gather feedback about LNI's new search for a new vendor. Now, please watch this entire video to know the real reason behind this and why filling out this survey won't do any good. Now, let's get started. So WFSE directed Ben to send this message to interpreters asking them to complete this survey. This message was sent a few days ago on August 17th, but as a reminder, guys, Ben is not an interpreter. He's just another paid organizer hired by WFSE to harass and to agitate interpreters. See, the message here starts saying that LNI is looking for a new vendor, get this, to take over all interpreter appointments. Notice how they're making sure you know this is a hostile takeover by taking all appointments, capitalizing the word all for emphasis, which is really an effort to make you accept what's happening. It's all about the mind tricks. You see, this survey here is really about nothing. This is just another desperate attempt to pretend WFSE is doing something, and you'll see why shortly. Here, WFSE is making sure you know that CTS is the vendor for remote appointments, meaning video and telephone assignments, and that interpretingWorks handles in-person appointments. But they also want you to remember that both companies use a scheduling system. You see, this is designed to make you believe that this is the only way things are going to be from now on, and that you should just go along with it. God forbid, you may want to get paid directly for video and phone appointments without a company siphoning commission out of your hard-earned money. No, WFSE cannot have that. The reality is that no union has been certified to represent LNI interpreters yet. The election process is still ongoing because, WFSE has cheated 3 times. And you can see here that WFSE tried to send a bogus demand letter to LNI 2 years ago. You probably remember this, to make it look like they wanted to get interpreters paid when many interpreters experienced payment delays at the beginning of the scheduling system. LNI's attorney from the state quickly established that LNI would not respond to any union that's not representing interpreters about any demands or feedback. You can read it here. LNI could meet with WFSE if they wanted to, but they cannot legally respond to their demands, and nothing has changed since then. And LNI has already gathered feedback from interpreters from the last 2 years, and that's why they have decided to look for a new vendor. You can see all of this from their announcement here. WFSE's fake survey will not have any impact on what LNI is doing whatsoever. Okay? However, you can email LNI's contract manager directly to make your voice heard if you still have some suggestions. You see, the very first question of their shady survey reveals how they want you to depend entirely on a scheduling system for all appointments, because they love to see interpreters scramble for a few appointments online, very much like hungry piranhas, desperately fighting for food in the water. Oh yes, after all, this is WFSE's wet dream. Oh, you don't believe me? Well, allow me to jog your memory just a little bit. Because it all comes back to this lady when it comes to WFSE's vision for interpreters. Yes, the one and only Milena Calderari-Waldron. We exposed this years ago. This lady here actually drafted WFSE's fake survey, not Ben. He's just a paid puppet. Milena's words are all over this survey. Let me show you. Now, this is back from 2019. Milena invited me and a couple of interpreters to attend an online video call to show us her vision for the scheduling system and how she wanted LNI to implement it. Let's continue. And here you can see the availability-based scheduling option she gave you on WFSE's most recent fake survey, which is essentially describing how interpretingWorks operates, since they were assisted and modeled by the One Lingua company from the beginning, a company that Milena loves. Remember to pause this video at any time in order to read the information that you see on the screen. And here you see the Piranha Pool scheduling option from WFSE survey, which is of course the other option that Milena wants for interpreters. Isn't that wonderful? You see, Milena and WFSE do not want you to have job security, okay? They don't want you to have enough appointments in the LNI system. No. They just want you to be a slave to your phone and compete with every interpreter to see who can click faster just to get a few meager appointments a day. This is the reason that most of us have to also go ahead and be a piranha and go fishing for ULS appointments online because you'll never have enough appointments to meet your needs in the LNI system, okay? But they keep on selling you this as if it is normal. No, giving you the illusion of having plenty of appointments to choose from when in reality that's never the case for most interpreters. After all, this is how WFSE leaders see interpreters, as a bunch of hungry, aggressive, corrupted, and uneducated peasants that need to be controlled, limited, and without a voice. Okay? Make no mistake about that. That's why Milena and Leroy Mold sold the idea of a scheduling system for DSHS appointments to the state since back in 2010 when they were barely a union, because they believe that we, the workers, are only good enough to pay union dues. Yes, and they know better than us what we need. That's what they believe. And they want us to keep all of our complaints to ourselves, of course. Yes. They just want you to shut up and take it. And that's why WFSE and Milena do not believe in mileage reimbursement for interpreters, as you can see here, because their priority has always been to save money for the state instead of negotiating on behalf of the workers as a real union should, because they know that without mileage money, most interpreters are going to be inclined to what? To stay home for video and telephone appointments in the LNI system if that gets to become a reality. And that's the real reason Milena was able to convince LNI to take away mileage reimbursement for LNI interpreters, because now LNI interpreters are being conditioned to cover video and telephone appointments from home. Well, the problem with this scenario is that both DSHS and LNI grossly underpay LNI interpreters for these jobs, okay? Once again, WFSE has been saving money for the state at the expense of all interpreters. Also, this is why their survey does not address the real issues with interpretingWorks online platform, like, oh, I don't know, the system like crashing randomly for no reason and without any explanation after the fact. You know, lots of no-shows and cancellations, late cancellations, job offers that are too far from interpreter's location. Okay, appointment monopolies for pain management and mental health appointments still existing today under this system, and many other things. You see, WFSE's priority here is not to fix these problems. No, they just want power and control. And of course, they would love it if you say that you want interpretingWorks to remain, since that's their preferred company to monopolize all appointments, including video and telephone jobs. It's always been this way since the beginning. And that's the reason that the former Interpreters United president started conditioning their own union members to get used to more video and telephone appointments. Oh yeah, this is something that I exposed in a video 3 years ago. Now listen to this short clip.
So welcome to the Interpreters United 2021-2023 contract negotiations info session. I'm going to start off by allowing space for myself and Leroy to kind of give an overview of what happened during our contract negotiations.
We're all going to have to learn to adjust and realize that both video and telephonic are going to be a much larger part of our lives than they have been over the last 10 years. That's just going to be a fact of life. So I encourage you to ratify the contract.
Did you catch that? In closing, I want you to please meditate on this. There is an old proverb that says, learning is remembering. And many attribute this old proverb to Plato, the renowned Greek philosopher. But I learned this concept a little bit differently from my mother when I was a kid. You see, she used to say it like this: Juan, you know if you have learned something only if you can remember it on time. My mom always encouraged me to study and do my homework every day if I wanted to pass all of my school tests with flying colors. Because doing so, studying every day, would actually prepare my brain to recollect all of this information anytime I had a test. And guess what? She was right. And I did very well in school anytime I followed her advice, because I was always able to remember on time anytime I had to pass a test. Now, you may ask yourselves at this point, Juan, what does that have to do with our situation as LNI interpreters today? Well, you see, I have studied WFSE since back in 2018 when I used to support them. And then I kept on doing this when I started Washington Interpreters, and I had a lot of wonderful people helping me. See, I did my homework and exposed all of their lies, manipulation, their agenda, so that you don't have to do this homework. As a result, many LNI interpreters learned this lesson and were able to vote for Washington Interpreters in every election that we've had. These interpreters were actually able to remember on time. However, a good amount of interpreters didn't do so, and now we're facing these changes by LNI without a certified union to negotiate with them. And as I said in my last video, I don't know if we'll have the chance to have another election. But if we do, there is a silver lining for you if you voted for WFSE. You see, all this homework has already been done for you. All you have to do is go through your email inbox and review all of the emails that Washington Interpreters has sent to you through the years. And then go visit our YouTube channel, and then you'll find plenty of my videos addressing any bit of information that you need to know in order to cast your vote and make the right decision. Yes, go ahead and study all of the information that I have provided for you, showing you how WFSE is lying and hurting all interpreters in the process. And I hope when the time comes, and if it comes, that you'll do the right thing and hopefully you'll be able to remember on time.